Hey guys, this is Stryderprime bringing you a new edition of Tool Time with Stryderprime. How's everybody doing? Today I'm going to be reviewing this product that you're seeing right here. This is the AK Interactive's Neutral Texture for Rough Terrain Acrylic Diorama series, of course. And this is a product that I decided to purchase in anticipation for my build of a diorama that I'm going to do this year. Now, I've been doing research on what products I should use for diorama building, and I'm going back to like the time when I did my first diorama build. And when I did the base of my first diorama, I used plaster. I used a water-based plaster that I purchased at a hobby store, of course, years ago, and then for me to do something like this. And I understood how the whole thing worked, even though it was not the best work I've done, but I understood where it goes from there and what to do. So I was like, okay, so that's how it's done. And I did the same thing again with the leftover plaster when I did my base stand for my GBWC build kit, the Kamaris one, the Kamaris Trooper, when I turned it into the Bellerophon, and that came out brilliant. That one I actually liked better than the first one I did. It's not considered a diorama; it's more like a base stand type thing. But you get the idea. You get the gist of it all. I was trying to see what can be out there that I could use, because I could easily purchase the same product, or I can try something different. And I was looking at brands. Vallejo makes some great products for diorama, and also AK. And here it is. And I saw this one, and I was watching a lot of videos. AK has done some videos for their products for diorama products. For whatever reason, they don't have a video for this. Maybe they haven't made it yet. It is, I think, a fairly new series of videos that they've been posting, and I think there was one person online that talked about it, but but it was so brief. But this is basically what I was looking for, and AK has made a lot of products for dioramas. They do like mud, swamp green, what was it? Desert. There's like two versions of the desert: snow terrain, asphalt, concrete, dry ground, wet ground, muddy ground, dark earth, beach sand. The list goes on and on and on. And the videos that they show online is very, very informative and well detailed. I just wish I could find one for this, but we're going to test this out today. Brought a little plot styrene sheet here. It's one of my 3mm ones, and we're going to test this out and see how it overall looks. So let me just remove that. Okay, so I have my spatula here, as you can see. Natural texture for rough terrain is specially designed to reproduce rough and rocky terrain on your diorama and vignettes. Just add the acrylic color desired, mix well, and apply to achieve extreme realism. To achieve whatever. Acrylic product is textured diorama. Perfect results is thin or thick layers. It can be diluted with water or acrylic thinner to improve its flow. Then of course close well, store in a safe place, all that stuff. Let's see how it looks. Alright, so it's like it's very, very, it's not the dark color that you see here, because as you can see there's two types here, but clearly I think this is the base color, as you can see here, and then you could paint it to whatever you want. I'm going to see what its consistency. No, the consistency is like yogurt or really, really bad milk. It feels like there's some small little minute granulars in there. But it's not thick. It's very, very light, and that's actually really good because in that way you can maneuver, detail it up with a brush of some sort. I'm going to do half of this, so we do, you know, on and off, and maybe I'll do the whole thing. But I want to do like a thick one and then a thin one. Remove some of the excess. It doesn't. Okay, so that's actually pretty nice. It doesn't say how long you have to wait for it to dry. I'm gonna put a thick one here. We'll give it a 24 hours. I know many of you guys want to like get cracking in your builds and all that stuff, but you know, unlike a model, which is something that you can maybe get away with, this one you got to give it its, you know, a little bit of time. There we go. I think that's pretty much enough. So we have a thicker base up here on top. I think I'll just put a little bit more. So we have the thinner one and then we have the thicker one. And I'm seeing that the thinner one is starting to level out here a bit due to gravity. I don't know how the thick one will be. Maybe I'll do the same. Let me just plop a few things here. There we go. I think that's enough. Alright. Put this away. Clean it up. Ooh. I see it. I better clean it up with a towel a little bit. Alright. Let's give it about 12 hours. And then we'll get back to it and see how it is. Alright. After 24 hours, the part has dried. It has a rough texture on it. Looks pretty good. This one's a little thicker, but you can actually press on it. I don't think you should apply double the amount on a specific part, because if you're going to do like a section that has to be raised, you can put another plow plate there and then smooth it out or something, and then put another layer of this. But as I've seen people with diorama builds, they do is they take foam and then they cut it up, then place the either the plaster or you know, this product like this. But it looks really good. It's nice and strong. Can be sanded down. Really nice. Let's test this out. Let's see how this looks with painting. And for that, I'm going to use two colors here. I'm going to use Desert Yellow by Tamiya and Flat Earth. I haven't used these products in a long time, so that they're maybe a little dry. give it a little bit of a mixture here. It's thick, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a little thinner on it. I think that should be enough. Just going to put this here so you guys can actually see this. And then I'm going to open up the other bottle. Let me just close this up first. Mix this up a bit. It should be fine. I have a little bit of acrylic thinner, but I could probably use water if I wanted to. Let me just get a little bit here first. Ooh, this thing is too little in here. Let me just grab my siphon. Where's my siphon? Here. Just a little bit here and a little bit there just to thin it out. In all due fairness, it doesn't really matter if it goes in too thick. I'm going to use this part to paint it. So right now I'm just going to wet it up. Now, clearly, you could use acrylic, or you could use, lacquer base, maybe even enamel. But chances are you're not going to use those last two because for diorama builds, many people use acrylic paint. It'll be a lot easier that way. Easy to work with. You don't have to worry with deal with fumes and all that stuff. Clean this up a bit. Don't have to worry about using the other paint. Mixing this up doesn't matter. I've seen many people use other brands like AK and MIG Ammo, Vallejo, of course. And then of course we have the Tamiya. I know the Mr. Hobby Brands, he has the acrylic version. I think it's called Aqueous. So you may want to try those out and see if those products will work for something like this. But I think I'm kind of like really stocked up with a lot of acrylic paint, which can work well with this. Alright, that looks pretty good. It's a little wet. Let's let it dry up a bit, and then we'll do a final look at it. Okay. Nice. Very nice. Clearly a good rough texture. Both in a, like a light coating, while I did this as a heavier coating. And doing two different types of color tones brings it out a bit. It's a little shiny. Too shiny for my taste. However, it depends on the environment. This can simulate like a wet area type thing, or I could easily dull it out using some dull coat and then make it more dry. But this is basically what I was looking for. So utilizing acrylic paints allowing me to do this, and I did try to do some filtering. You know what? Since I collected a lot of these, or actually I have 3 of these, the Mr. Weathering Color for multi-black, multi-gray, and brown. This was like the last one I purchased. I saw I believe a sandy color version of this, and I kind of said to myself, maybe I'll never use it. But now that I'm starting to look at this, clearly I would need something to give it more dirt, more grime, something that will tie in with this, and of course a mobile suit or a tank vehicle, whatever. But yeah, this was a pretty good test in my book. Pretty good test. So the test of using this product for my diorama ideas, the Natural Texture for Rough Terrain by AK 8025, came out the way I wanted. Really do. I can't wait to now go to the next stage and make a slightly larger diorama. But I'm not going to do what I just did with this this part. Remember, this was basically just a test on how it is, how to understand it, what's the concept of it, and all that stuff. Now the next stage will be to get the base, get maybe some foam, cut it up in the way that I want it, take whatever model kit, whether it's a tank or a plane or a Gundam, and put it right on it, and then once you figure out the layout, then you apply this over it and give it the look that you want. So I'm glad that I got this. I'm glad that I tested it out, and I can't wait to try it on my next kit. Now, acrylic paint is basically the way to go, and I do have some acrylic paints. I just don't have that many, I guess, scenery, but I have to check what I have because I haven't used some Tamiya ones. So I have a few of those. I'll definitely can't wait to try this out on. And then, oh, I did buy something which I should have applied it to this, but because it's so small, I didn't want to waste it. I went to Hobby Lobby, and I went to the diorama section of the Hobby Lobby store, and I picked this up. This is landscape rocks. So this would be perfect on this, whether it's small rocks like these or larger ones, boulders. So this will help me out in my next trial of me making a little scene, a scenic scene. And then as I get better, if I get more ambitious, I'll start doing other things. Maybe put water or put some other things. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be. I don't know if I'll be still buying from this brand per se. But I've seen many options. I'm glad that I at least reviewed this one for anybody who is interested in getting this brand and doing their version of a diorama. So, with that being said, I'd like to thank you guys all for watching this video of Tool Time with Stryderprime. What can I say but stay tuned for more Gundam models yet to come. You guys all have a great